Hello and welcome back to Your Story is Your Portal. And here I have my favorite person back in Mexico again, Megan.
Thank you for having me.
So, the reason why Megan is here is because we are working on another collaborative book together. And this is our favorite topic, which is healing. And there's so many amazing stories, right, Megan?
Oh my gosh, so many amazing stories of all the different ways that exist out there to heal our human bodies.
Really. I mean, we have talked about this a lot on previous episodes, but now we're coming together and bringing these stories to the world in this collaborative book. Really, it's the only way that we can really, truly understand what is available to us by hearing the true, authentic, honest stories of other people that have healed themselves, right?
Exactly.
And they're pretty extraordinary, right?
Yes. Ev- The the first story that's coming to my mind is yours, in fact. But I mean, we have our stories are one thing, and when we find there's way more than just us, we can say it all day long and we'll shout it from the rooftops for the rest of our lives. Is so much more meaningful when it comes from more people.
Yes.
And I happen to know a lot of those people very personally, very closely, and we have so many wonderful stories of actual, genuine, true healing in all of the ways that exist in this world. And I cannot wait because the reason this book is actually happening is because I learned well, not only your story, Julie, you're like just adding to the layers of the cake of all of the stories that are coming together to know that we can heal. And oh, it's so inspirational. And I want other people out there to know that there is hope for healing. We have the ability to heal as a human.
And the thing is that so many people have got, oh, yes, that's all very well for you, or oh, yes, that's all very well if you can do this, that, and the other, or you've got the right mindset, but th these are healing stories that are, people say, for example, you can't heal cure cancer. And we've know multiple stories of people that have cured their cancer. And and as Megan says, my own personal story was when my vertebrae collapsed, the surgeon told me the only way you're going to walk again is if you remove those vertebrae, 5 vertebrae, remove 5 vertebrae, and then we'll put steel rods, and then you'll be able to walk. And it's like, no, there's other ways of doing this.
Oh my gosh. I can't imagine being faced with that decision of that magnitude and someone literally telling you, like this expert in your field, in the field, in like in a vulnerable position, needing to believe some kind of hope is existing for walking again. And then they tell you the only way is that way.
Mhm.
Man, I can't imagine what went through your mind, and I want to like cultivate what that feeling was that you know that you just knew, like, that's a hard no for me.
Yeah.
Like, actually, that is not an option. Now, what do I do? I want to know what that feeling, how do we get there? I've been there, not quite
Mm,
on that level.
mm.
There's other people that have been there. We're featuring them in this book, and we're getting to the point where I think people are realizing that that intuitive feeling of hold the phone. Are you sure? Are you actually sure that's what I need for healing? I think it's coming out that maybe the big ideas of pills and medicines like that, where we add to our bodies, is not actually what we need. Our body is actually innately able to do things
Hmm.
such as heal a paper cut.
Yes.
A paper cut has healed. You've broken a bone. That's healed itself. Our body heals the same way, everything,
Yes.
including cancers. Every single day, your body is regenerating cells. Those cells turn a little sideways. Maybe they become a cancerous cell. Your body takes care of it and you don't even know.
Yes.
This happens
Yeah.
with everything. And so we can heal if it's our thoughts that get in the way of those processes.
Hmm.
And now we have the stories that are coming together that it's not about using other things to heal us. We must start with ourselves. Like
Yes.
start with our thoughts, and we have so much evidence and so much hope for just knowing that it starts from within and you don't actually have to do anything. There's no 12-step program. There's no like
Yeah.
quizzes. You don't have to do this every single day. It's just knowing that you can heal
Yeah.
and that's it. And like,
Hmm.
and that you can literally know to heal just by reading a story.
Yes.
That's how I learned to heal. I learned other people's stories.
Yes.
And that's how I intend to keep healing myself, learning everything I can, learning from other people's stories of healing.
Yes.
That's
The
the goal.
more stories you hear, the more you know what is actually available. And I
Exactly.
think that's what's important is that, you only know what you know, right? You only know what you know. And if you don't know that that's possible because you've been told by your family, by your peers, by your educators, by your doctors, that there's no alternative. Even we did this experiment, right, with ChatGPT and
Mm-hmm.
AI. We put in, what are the alternatives? And it's like, if you don't put in the right question, you don't get the right answer,
Yeah, you don't
right?
get the same answer if you ask it three different ways. You get three different answers, which, you know what? My one of my bestest friends in the entire world, he describes it like this. The solution to pollution is dilution.
Ah,
There's a lot of pollution of information out there that is actually a little bit untrue. It is not a little bit untrue, it's entirely untrue. Experiencing what thought was healing as a nurse and then learning what actually is healing, I was floored for an entire week. I couldn't accept
hmm.
what I had just learned as like the I just wanted to heal people. I just wanted to help. And learning like the deep down core of my entire belief as a nurse, as a practitioner, as everything in this world was based on, say, let's say, a few people having very deep pockets and that the money equals power, where I've literally taken care of people at the end of their life when they're realizing that money does not equal power.
Yeah.
And so realizing that I was kind of a pawn in that like game
Yes.
of
Yes.
someone else's idea
Yes.
made me ill. It makes me sick to think of how many other people just think that they're out there believing they're helping. I was there for 20 years.
Yes.
20 years I saw people
Yes.
coming back and forth to the hospital with longer lists of pills, going, why is this not actually helping?
Hmm.
Until I went through my own thing where I helped myself in other ways, where I learned other people's stories that help themselves in other ways. And that's when I had to take that immediate step back from nursing, going, oh my gosh, I'm actually not a help.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's heartbreaking to think of how many people believe one thing when and something else entirely true exists.
Yes. Yes.
That's our hope with this book. That's
I
our hope with
know.
sharing these
Just by
stories.
sharing the stories
Yes.
and we're here, we're ready to go. It's only in 7 days, is that
Yeah,
right?
well,
7 days?
yep, 7 days from
7
now,
days.
February 9th.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
February the 9th, 7 days. We have got people coming here to join us live. Give us some of the
Oh
stories of
my
the people
gosh.
that are coming.
Well, we've got Kim.
Yeah.
Kim is one of my favoriteest human beings. We have gone through a number of trainings together. We met as if we were like picking up from like, hey, nice to see you again. I've literally never seen her before in
Hmm.
my life. She has a magical story of healing where she actually is a nurse. We learned after we
Hmm.
came together in a different way that we nursed together at the same hospital. We talked to
Wow.
each other. We've worked with the same patients, just didn't know who each other were. Wild. And so her story of healing is simply incredible, where she actually was a nurse too and realized how much her thinking actually went into how much her body was impaling or her body was failing.
Mm.
It was based on her like she had thoughts of perfectionism and like I have to do it exactly right before I even do it. And training until she was like basically like a coma, like
Oh,
trained
wow.
so hard her body until like her body failed. But
Wow.
not realizing that that was her body calling out to like, whoa, stop, pause, and ending up, her whole story is using all of the different healing modalities that exist out in the world as a nurse, as like thinking a thought practitioner, whatever it is that you're using, that you can use all the things and that you can
Hmm.
still heal.
Yeah.
And yeah, her story is just simply beautiful for coming full circle. And then she is like one of the biggest mentors in my life. Someone I go to like to I don't know how to life right now. Help. And she just knows what to say. So
That's awesome. That's awesome.
story is incredible. And it's along the same lines as yours and other, oh my gosh, who else have we got? Okay. Oh, I don't want to give them all away.
Okay,
And
just give a tease.
okay, we have one more. As you talked about the cancer,
Yes.
a lot of healing in cancer is very much focused on like the chemotherapy, the radiation, the big guns that, we know that you need to use it to kill that. That's our paradigm. That's what we know to believe. I know another wonderful soul, and this is the reason this book is coming out because of her story and her journey through her having a cancer diagnosis and being told, no, you need to do this and no, you need to do that. And then she was like, actually, I'm only going to choose this thing. I'll say that's okay, but I'm going to use my other modalities. 2 years later, she is cancer free, and those physicians cannot believe her story and her outcome because they were like, actually, you didn't need all that I suggested you take. And yeah, no, it's our thoughts.
Yeah.
She knew, you know that your thoughts are getting in the way. And so the journey of coming through, oh my gosh, learning all of that and imagine getting to a point where you're able to choose that for yourself. You can
Yes.
fit like you fully in your heart say no to Western medicine and say, I have something else.
Yes.
I know something else will work.
But I mean, you're really onto something about the thoughts, and I think this is why it's important for our viewers to know that the way that we're going to be educating people about the options is simply to be sharing true, real stories, because it's the true, real stories of extraordinary healing that make the difference. Because you know that's you might have people saying, "Oh, you can't cure cancer," and it's like, really? Like I know so many stories of people that have cured their cancer, right? I mean, why we're still raising gazillion dollars on cancer research when it's right out there with stories
Well,
that,
we know why we're still raising money
yeah,
for
yeah.
someone's second teen yacht, like 17th yacht.
Yes, yeah. It's anyway, let's not get into that conversation. However, let's just circle back to mindset because I wanted to give an example of my own story. Um, I had spent 2 months flat on my back. I couldn't walk. I was in so much pain. I couldn't move. I couldn't even get up and put myself on the toilet. I had to be using a bucket, like from the bed. I could just slide onto a bucket, and even that was really, really painful. And, once I put my mind to meditation and really focusing on healing my own body, all the solutions just appeared for me. And it's really interesting because when it first happened to me, I've got a lot of spiritual authors. I've been through a lot of healing. I know I've shared a lot of healing stories, but when it happens to you, and when you're like in like a 10 pain, like 24/7, it's like it's very challenging to change your mind because you're just like, just get rid of this pain. Please just get rid of this pain. I'll do it at any cost. Just,
Mhm.
whatever I need to do. And I was reaching out to people to say, like, how do I do this? Like, I know this is true. I know that I can heal my own body. I know that our bodies are like full of potential and that, our potential for healing is extraordinary. But this mind gets in the way, right? Your mind's like,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, but you can go do this and it's going to stop the pain. And what the trick for me was that one of my authors said to me, Julie, you're just lying there in bed all day anyway. There's nothing that you can do. Put your headphones on and listen to healing meditations. And I listened to Joe Dispenza and I listened to Greg Braden and I listened to Bruce Lipton and I listened to lots of different podcasts. That's how I discovered Amrit and
Mhm.
his podcast, which is
Okay.
Inspired Evolution, talking about the evolution of our healing and all the different people. They're all basically saying the same thing. It's just that you've got to hear it multiple ways. For me, it was like it really hit with Greg Braden because Greg Braden was actually saying, we have scientific proof about this. This is not just hearsay. It's not just a few people's stories.
Yeah.
There's actual scientific proof that our bodies regenerate
Mhm.
all of our cells regenerate. And, and people go, oh, well, what, your vertebrae is going to regrow? Yes, my vertebrae is going to regrow, right? And your brain cells, and if you don't use them, you lose them.
Exactly. We're
Because
either growing or we're decaying.
yeah,
Either
because
way.
our bodies can do this, but it's not going to keep giving us new brain cells if we're not using them, right?
Exactly.
And that's how people get dementia and Alzheimer's. It's because
Hmm.
they're not using their brain and they're not keeping it active. They're just sitting in front of a TV all day, or they're not doing this continuous learning thing. And so their cells start to die and they're not being replaced because your body's going, well, no point in me putting any energy there because you're not using it anyway. So it's a very intelligent body. And I remember like my first sort of like real movement forward was with Wally and Feldenkrais. And just before I went for that appointment, Daniel, who was looking after me at the time, said to me, so where do we go from here? Because this isn't sustainable. Like I cannot do this every day. I've been doing this for 2 months. I've been looking after you 24/7. Like it's not sustainable. We need to work, we need to make money, like we need to get on with life. And it's not sustainable. So where do we go from here? Like what happens? Like we go
Hmm.
into a care facility or
Hmm.
like
Many
what
people do.
happens? What
Mhm.
happens? And I said to him, and I said it with so much conviction when this is the first step. And when we go and see Wally, I'm going to get off that table and I'm going to walk. And it was the conviction of saying that. And I don't know that maybe if I wasn't like that convicted, if that would have actually happened. Because, I sent many people to Wally, right? Because people heard my extraordinary story, how I was basically on Wally's table with Feldenkrais for like an hour. And I sat up, I stood up, I walked, for the first time in 2 months with no pain. And that's after being on his table, right? And with tiny, tiny little adjustments. Yeah. But it was the whole time we were talking about mindset and we were talking about what was possible with our bodies.
Hmm.
And Wally was explaining to me about my skeleton and that these tiny little adjustments were enabling my whole body to work together. And, that's one of the things that's really wrong with the pharmaceutical industry
Western
and
medicine in
Western
general.
medicine and hospitals and doctors is they just treat one thing.
Yeah.
So you go in with a back pain, or in my case, collapsed vertebrae, and they're just looking at that area in complete isolation.
Yeah.
Oh, to fix this, we got to remove the vertebrae and put steel rods in the place. There you go,
Done.
done, right? And it's like, no, this is part of what Wally was explaining to me. It's a whole system. Your body is a whole system. So, okay, we're going to just make some adjustments to your skeleton, right? Number one, by adjusting your skeleton, it released the nerve that was trapped by the collapsed vertebrae. So that gave me immediate pain relief. Number two, he shifted the sort of balance of my body. And he said, think of it like a corkscrew, like a spiral. Your body is kind of twisted like this. So I'm going to make this adjustment with your hips like this, right? And now your hips are supporting your rib cage, right? And that means now you've got your stomach that can support your lower back where you don't have your vertebrae, and your legs and your butt, are going to be doing the work. And it's like, don't think of your body or your back as like my back's not working.
Hmm.
It's like, no, I am supporting my back whilst my back heals itself. And that was what he taught me. And I was like, that makes total sense. That makes total sense that, there are other ways, just because you haven't got two legs doesn't mean you can't walk, right?
Absolutely. And what you mentioned about your thought and your conviction, your utter complete conviction that I'm getting off that table on my own 2 feet and walking out of here, it's that are one of our authors in the book, Melissa, she actually went through this whole thing. And because she went through this whole thing and realized with her own experience with her business of being a health practitioner and seeing why does it work for some people and not
Mm,
others. And then she realized it's their mindset. And that spewed off an entire her thing is called Amplified Impact Academy, and well, that's where I learned all of this and why I'm here, basically. Uh, she completely changed course because she realized how important it was to have a perfect mindset.
Yes.
And that is what heals her cancer.
Yes.
That is what is the key of, and I could spew that from a day from here until, and people are gonna be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But until you have enough understanding and enough experiences under your belt, it one day it will make sense. One
Yes.
day, and we're all saying the same thing. And that's what I'll just say right now. If like you're looking for a health solution, if you're given one option, it's not enough. Find other things.
Yeah.
Ask more.
Yes.
What are three other things I could do instead? Find
Yes.
that because,
Or as well
or
as.
as well as,
Yeah,
exactly.
nutrition,
Oh my gosh, there's so many
exercise,
things.
red light therapy. I mean, these are all the things that I tried. I'm like, okay, I'm on a healing journey with my spine. So what can I do? What are the other things I can do to
And
support it,
always ask, what
And
else?
somebody explained to me, it's like think of yourself like a sports car, right? We are a sports car. And so because we're a sports car, we need the highest grade fuel, right? We need the highest grade gas and the highest grade oil because we're a sports car. What happens if you put the wrong grade of fuel in your sports car? Guess what? It doesn't work,
It's
right?
not going to be as efficient.
And here we are with our sports car, our human bodies, and we are putting really low grade fuel in it, right? And guess what? It's not working at the
Mm.
optimum everything because it's not got the optimum fuel in it, right? So it's like, no, you
Yeah.
need to be putting the highest grade fuel in your body, right? And so that's
And
helping it.
we need to stop believing that pills and Western medicine cures, like removing your spine,
Yes.
are the top grade are the top grade fuel. That
Yeah.
is not the top grade
That's
fuel.
not the top grade
It's
fuel.
you're putting oil in the tank. You're putting diesel in the regular gas tank and it's going to fail.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
adding poison to a thing that's already perfect.
Yes. Or it's like changing the tires of the sports car for, like tires that don't grip the road properly,
Yeah.
right? So it's like we're just going to take away these tires that are designed for the car and we're going to replace them with different tires. And it's like that's what your body's like. It's like we're going
Yeah.
to take away your spine and we're going to replace it with steel rods because steel rods are better than the real thing, right?
I mean, it's all what one belief system has said to us that this is true. And there are people that benefit from this. There are people that walk away and this is their solution.
Mhm.
I think our entire purpose of this book and what our entire purpose in life really is to just say, like, you don't have to choose that if that doesn't feel right. If
Mhm.
that does not feel okay, there is asks for something else, and the something else is out there.
Yes.
If you look for it simply by saying, I need something else, I don't think that's okay for me, the other thing will show up in your life
Yes.
because you've put that thought out there. Our
Exactly.
brains are go-getters. So if you have to think of where you're going to get, not what you're stuck in,
Yes.
because that's what you're going to stay with. If
Yes.
you need a solution to your problem,
Mhm.
it's out that way, not, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do.
And
Let's
I
even
can
figure
give
it
you
out.
multiple examples where people have followed my story and they've said, "Oh my God, how did you do that? Who did you see? What fixed you?" Right? And I sent quite a few people to Wally,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Oh no, I don't know what he was doing, and I didn't do anything for me. It was just a waste of money." Right? And it's like because they didn't have the mindset, or they went in with the mindset that it wasn't going to work for them,
Or like it was going to fix me.
or that it was going to fix
And
me.
not
Yeah.
because it's a difference between you thinking that you're going to get off the table
Hmm.
and thinking that Wally's going to make me get off the table.
Exactly.
Wally did not make you get off the table.
Yes.
You made you get off the table.
Exactly.
That is the key.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
that is the key to healing.
Right.
Ah, I can't wait.
I also just started this new supplement which I'm finding really fascinating. Again, it's coming back to that whole fuel thing, right? And it's these little drops in a tincture, and basically they've got like the peptides of salmon, Norwegian salmon, lemon, and ginger. And, before I started to take these drops, I was looking for something that would stop my stomach bloating and my digestive problems, right? Like I know I've been through that journey of like, avoid gluten because gluten's going to make me bloaty, avoid carbohydrates because my body doesn't like carbohydrates, and I doing all of that, but still spending every day kind of looking in the mirror going, oh my God, I look like I'm 5 months pregnant, just bloating and stomach pains and everything like that. So I've been on this journey for, a while, looking for different things and trying, different foods, trying different supplements. And this was really extraordinary. Like I've got photos of me from like day one. And then by day two, I can see the difference in my bloating, but I can feel the difference. Like I
Mhm.
wake up and I don't have stomach ache and stomach problems. And then by like, well, like just over a week, I lost a kilo. And I'm saying that kilo is basically all bloating and fluid retention, right? And it was just like, but I told a few other people about it, and they're like, nah, it didn't work for me.
Do you believe in that it's going to work for you? Or do they believe it's going to work for them? I think that's the key. It's I do believe it's Joe Dispenza's work, You Are the Placebo,
Right.
where this is fascinating to me that they did a study where they did a study for knee surgery. They opened up half of the knees. They did the incision, stood there and said, "Hello, knee," and closed it back up. They didn't do the surgery. They did nothing. The other people they did the surgery to fix the knee, replace the knee, sent them on their way. The people who believed that they had the surgery done but didn't actually have the surgery done, they did better than the people that got their knees replaced. Yeah.
Wow.
As in, that was like one of the first stories Joe Dispenza tells in You Are the Placebo. And it's
Wow.
not like all of this is not new
No,
ideas. It's all what everyone's kind of been saying. And it's just a matter of you have to hear the right story
yes,
before you believe it yourself. And
you
that's
have to be.
you, it's just believing. It's actually the believing part that makes you go and get what you get in your life. If you believe it, you will get it.
So, if you have got an extraordinary healing story like the ones we've been talking about,
Yeah.
we want your story in this book. And we are meeting in 7 days on the 9th of February. Now, we're not expecting you to come to this beautiful paradise of Mexico.
I
Of
mean, it's a
course, if you
possibility.
want to, you can.
Yeah.
That's no problem. We will find you accommodation. Um, but you can join us on Zoom. So you can join all of us that is involved in this book project right now. And you can join us on Zoom. So it would just feel like you're here, except you're actually there on a computer, not here in beautiful Mexico, but still, it's fine, and we'll make you feel like you're here. And that you can join us. It's going to be like a 1 day. Well, it's really like half a day, right? It's a
Yeah.
half day workshop. So we just come together in a group and we share our healing stories and we talk about our healing stories. We talk about what we're going to be sharing. And then we start the writing of it. So if you want to join us and you have a healing story that you'd like to share, we would love, love, love for you to join us in 1 week. 1 week, okay? And, just think that what you're doing by sharing your story is helping other people. You're helping other people to understand what is truly possible. Because, like Megan says, unless we know what we know, we don't know what we know, right? So we're going to help you to know what you know by showing you other people's healing stories and helping you to see all of the different options that are available. And we want your story. So come and join us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Julie.
Yeah, welcome. You're welcome. If you need more information,
Yes.
what is the place that they go for
You
more
go
information?
to rewriteyourhealing.com/collaborative book. And you'll find all the information. You can find a link to the session and information about how to join up with us and yeah, everything you need to know. Rewriteyourhealing.com/collaborative book.
And we will put the link in the show notes. And on YouTube, we'll also put the link in the notes as well, so you can find it. The other way that you can just very easily connect with us and get the Zoom information and all the information about the workshop and the book is you can email Megan at
info@growtoday.ca.
info@growtoday.ca. Info at growtoday.ca. That's very
That's a
good.
bit of a ring.
It is a ring, isn't
Yes.
it? Okay, guys, thanks for joining us again. And come and join us in 7 days, February the 9th, a 4 hour workshop. Tell us your healing story. See you there. Bye for now.